1 month ago, I put out a video highlighting a new company called Shoals in the solar space, and it quickly gapped up to about $12 a share. And I also put out a video just a few days ago highlighting ticker symbol WLI, and that stock is up 15% just in the past 5 days after I highlighted that stock. And all of those stocks, and the stocks that I put out are all using a quick and simple process to quickly get a rundown on a company and see if it's compelling. So in this video, I want to highlight the exact three-step process I use to research stocks, how to correctly prompt AI, because everybody out there is using AI. And if you don't use AI in the right way, you're just going to find stocks that really don't have an edge now because everyone is using it, and you can't just screen it and say, hey, give me this stock X and so and so, so and so, and it's not going to give you the best fit and the best exposure for what you're looking for if you do not drill down and you're not specific with prompts. And the third thing in this video I want to highlight and give you today is the 3 check boxes that stocks really need to check before I'm really interested in entering them as a position. So this 3-step process is broken down into 1, document gathering, 2, the process of prompting AI and learning about the company and evaluating it on multiple different factors. And then the third would be generating a podcast. So this is a really unique thing that I learned from another investor on X. And you can basically use these AI tools to feed all of your research in there. And then when you're out commuting in a car or going on a walk, you can listen and really get a feel for a different angles of the company that you might not get just reading about it through an AI generated podcast. Okay. So before I get into that, I am going to put all of the AI prompts, or a vast majority of them, inside a free resource. So if you want to grab that, just subscribe to my email list at the link in the description to get the prompts shown in this video. Okay, so getting right into it, document gathering. So unless you're completely new to this, obviously you know that annual reports, earnings transcripts, all these things give you a snapshot of a company. It's where you should go to the primary source material. I feel like a lot of new people starting out, they're just going to X or maybe TikTok or whatever it is in social media, and they're learning about the company through social media rather than going to the source material themselves and reading what the people running the company have to say to describe their company. And where you go to read these things, or you go straight to the company investor relations page, or you go to the SEC search page. So if you don't know how to do that, you go to SEC, you type in a ticker, click on it, and all the filings will be here. So most people know how to do that, but you really want the annual report, quarterly report, and then you can go and grab the earnings transcripts of maybe like the last 3 calls. And so I like to use Perplexity to get the earnings calls. And what's nice about Perplexity Finance is it gives you the highlights here, and then you can go to the transcript and actually filter it by the analyst questions or the topics of the call to quickly navigate it. You can also search and copy and paste this whole thing to the next step, which I'll get into the second, when you're prompting AI to give it that context that it needs, right? So the other thing that is very important for getting a quick kind of dashboard look at if I'm going to be interested in an opportunity is FinViz. So FinViz is a great resource. It's free. You just type in a ticker like I have here. It'll bring up the chart. I don't really use this for charting, but it can maybe be a good quick look just to see the short-term or long-term trend the position is in. But really what I'm looking at is market cap, income, all of these valuation metrics. Obviously, green is going to be cheaper. And basically, the different industry in, you might want to look at a different metric for that. And you can kind of find these things out by just looking into the company more. Maybe a software company should be more valued on an ARR basis, or something like a P to S, price to sales. You can look at the sales trend, if they're adding more shares, earnings, all these things is a good thing to look at. You can also look at short interest and short float and all these things. So this is like a really good thing where if you type in a ticker, maybe you don't even know what the company does, but it's a company that's showing no sales right here on the sales. It's a pre-revenue company. I'm most likely not interested in that stock, and I can just quit right there. There's no point in learning about what the CEO had for breakfast this morning if it's a pre-revenue company or they're burning lots of cash or something like this, like a tremendous red flag. Just quickly go to the next thing. Okay. So that's document gathering. You want to really do that at the start. You can kind of screen out those opportunities you don't want, and then you can get into the next step, which is the AI prompts. So I highly recommend, if you're using AI a lot, is to hold a library of prompts. Some of these created myself. Some of these I've refined from other investors and seeing their process. But I have it separated into an individual stocks list for prompts I definitely want to check for when I'm doing individual stock research. And then I also have prompts for themes. So when I say themes, I mean a specific sector or industry drilled down that is a tailwind moving and a theme getting kind of a lot of interest right now. So maybe that is semiconductor stocks or memory stocks. Maybe that's robotics, right? So that is what I mean by themes. And themes, you can also use prompts, but for the sake of this video, we're just talking about doing individual stock research fast. That's going to be this list of prompts here. And so what you do is you open your AI tool. I have the free plan of Claude. You can use anything really, but you just type in this ticker symbol and then you copy in this quick analysis prompt and these other things too to get a really quick rundown of the company. And what these prompts will do is they will go search and use the most recent annual report. They'll go search the internet and grab that. But what I like to do, just to be really cautious and careful, is I like to go and grab those documents that we gathered in the first step and add it and upload it into here, just to make sure that the AI has the context, right? So it's really fast to enter this, read it, and then go to the next prompt and kind of go down as you go and get a quick idea if this is something you want to add and invest more time into. So that's what you kind of want to be asking yourself on each step here is there too many red flags off the bat for me to step away? Because the last thing you want to do, right, is be too indecisive and waste time when there's other opportunities, right? There's opportunity costs to researching. You got to be wary of time. So that is going to be the AI prompts part. And then you go into this third step, which is taking everything that you got in the first step, which is all the company resources, the company presentations, everything, all that context, and then taking your AI prompts and discussion you had with Claude. You can see that you can generate a lot of good information just by adding these prompts in. And so you take all of this information and you go and use a tool called Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is a tool for basically uploading your sources and then having the AI only reference those things. So there's no hallucination. There's nothing like that. I'm trying to find a good example here. Here's a good one. When I was researching ticker symbol ADTN, is you can upload the annual report, the quarterly reports, the earnings transcripts, everything like that. And then you go and upload also what Claude generated here. So the business summaries, the mode analysis, the valuation analysis, all these things to add more context onto just what the company does. And then you can go over here to audio overview and click to generate an AI podcast based on your sources. And it will go ahead and develop an AI generated podcast somewhere between 30 to 50 minutes. I've seen, I always do the long version, and you can listen to this when you're driving in your car, when you're going on a walk, anything like that. And it's surprisingly easy to listen to. You know, you would think AI voices or something is like a tough listen. It's not. And they actually describe the company in a way that you can understand, even for a layman who's getting into a new industry and doesn't really understand it. So that's kind of some secret sauce there, using the Notebook LM audio generated podcasts to research stocks really fast. And you don't even have to be on your computer. So one final thing to kind of add to this, and something that you can add to your Claude and Notebook LM, is what other investors are saying about this stock, other write-ups, other due diligence, research reports, and stuff like that. You can add it to these things to understand them, but also have the AI evaluate these other investors' thesis, right? So one example of this, using the example of FSLR here, is maybe going to Substack and finding write-ups on it. And this will allow you to get a better understanding of the opportunity, and if the opportunity is as good as maybe these people are saying it is, right? Because you can't always trust everything people are saying online, because maybe they're just pumping their own positions or something like that. So this allows you to quickly evaluate if it's a great stock idea or just maybe hype. And so that's that. And another tip on using X, because X is just a treasure trove of information when it comes to the stock market, is always when you're typing in a ticker symbol to kind of go and just get some sentiment and commentary, add this min_faves and then add a number. And this will filter out basically all the bot spam for the stock. And it's just a cleaner feed for that. So there's a quick tip for you. And kind of just to summarize all the websites and resources one more time. It's FinViz, it's Claude, SEC, Notebook LM. Fiscal AI is a paid tool. I think they have some free tool features there. But Fiscal AI is great for visualizing. I'm all for visualizing things and having it easy. When you're doing things quick, you want to kind of not get in the weeds too much and have it all be easy. So those are some good websites here. And then you need to ask yourself, after you've gone through this whole process, is it checking these 3 boxes? Thematic relevance, right? Is this company participating in a hot theme? Is it a part of AI, something the market cares a lot about? Is it part of robotics, right? Is it going to have the tailwinds to push this whole market forward for the basket of stocks that have businesses relevant? Because the hardest thing about business and investing is maybe you have a great product, but you're in a market that is either declining or people just don't care about it, right? It's that famous quote about, selling newspapers when the internet was created. It's only going to be harder for you. So that's going to be checkbox number 1. And there's bonus points on this, right? If you have a stock that has products that are relevant to multiple themes at the same time, that can be a multiplier on how kind of violent a stock can re-rate. The second box is going to be the fundamental analysis piece. So that's the valuation through FinViz, how fast they're growing earnings, how fast they're growing revenue, their valuation compared to peers in the theme. Is it undervalued compared to peers in the theme? And you've got to really understand why it's undervalued. And then how expensive or cheap is it compared to how it's traded in the past? Say for example, FSLR, maybe it's looks cheap just the first time I search it up, but maybe I go and look at how it's been valued historically, and maybe it's expensive. And then you've got to ask yourself why. These are things where you're kind of going through this process and you're getting a quick look at things, but these are the questions that can take up more of your time, but are worth the extra deep research here. So the final piece is the technical analysis. And I would say, besides the thematic relevance, technical analysis is probably just as quick, if not more quick. Fundamental analysis probably is going to take you the longest amount of time to go through and understand and learn, and because you've really got to know the business and the specific industry they're in. But technical analysis is as simple as just you flip open your chart setup and you ask yourself, is the chart accommodative or is it not? Is it trending upwards in the short term? Is it trending upwards in the long term? Is it trading above the moving averages? Or is it too extended for the moving averages? So here's, for example, the stock I talked about at the beginning of the video, ticker symbol WLY, which is up about 15% just in the last few days since I made that video. You can see today it had a big gap up, green candle up to 52-week highs. And it's a little extended from the closest moving average. I use the 9, 21 EMAs and the 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. So you really want to try to get a entry when the price is as close to a moving average as possible. When you start looking at a stock that has kind of been parabolic, you look at a stock like VPG, right? So you look at on May 13th, gapping up several times. Obviously, it would have worked out for you if you bought here at 104. But usually stocks, when they gap up like this, they either come way back down to the nearest moving average, or they'll consolidate like VPG did for at least a few days to allow those moving averages to catch up. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And I recommend going and studying Stan Weinstein's stage analysis. That's kind of the whole philosophy. And then adding volume as well to your charts and kind of reading volume as well. So those are the 3 check boxes. If you want more insights, and obviously if you want to grab the list of AI prompts resource, go ahead and click the link in the description and subscribe to my newsletter in the description. I know that says bio, but it's really description. And let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching.